There's a certain silence that only exists on a game show stage. It's not the silence of an empty room. It's heavier than that. It's the kind of silence where millions of thoughts race through just a few minds. This is Final Jeopardy. The lights are steady, the board is locked, and the category has already been revealed. Famous photos. For fans of the show, that title alone is enough to make the heart rate rise. Famous photos aren't just about recognizing an image. They're about memory, about history, about whether a single frozen moment can be named precisely under pressure, and pressure is exactly what fills the Alex Trebek stage right now. The host's voice cuts through the quiet. Here's the clue. The contestants are given 30 seconds. Just 30. No lifelines, no second chances. Only a pen, a screen, and everything they've ever known. You can almost feel that moment stretch. The countdown begins. At the far end of the stage stands Aaron Levine, coming into Final Jeopardy. Aaron has $1,600. It's not a commanding lead. It's not even a comfortable one, but it's enough to play spoiler, enough to matter. His eyes stay locked on the clue. He writes carefully. No rushing, no hesitation. When time runs out, the camera returns to him. The question now isn't just what he wrote, it's whether it's enough. The host begins the reveal. Aaron, he says, you had $1,600 coming into Final Jeopardy. What did you write down? The response appears on the screen. What is Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima? There's a pause, just long enough to feel dangerous. Then, the confirmation. Correct, yes, 3 times over. In fact, it is Mount Suribachi, the location of one of the most recognizable images in modern history, the flag raising on Iwo Jima, a photograph that transcended the moment it captured, a single image that became a symbol, and Aaron found the name. Now comes the wager. What did you bet? The host asks. Aaron's answer is modest. $1. Just a single dollar. That small decision locks him in at $1,601. It's not flashy, it's not bold, but it's safe. And sometimes, safety is exactly what Final Jeopardy demands. But Aaron's story tonight isn't the only one unfolding, not even close. We move down the line to the contestant in the middle, a woman named Jennifer. She came into the final round with a respectable $10,800. A strong position, but not invincible. The camera focuses on her, and the same question echoes. Jennifer, what was your response? Her answer appears. Like Aaron, she wrote, what is Mount Suribachi, correct? Another player who nailed the clue. Now, it all comes down to the math. How much did she risk? The host asks the question, and her wager is revealed. $8,201. It's a precise, calculated bet. It was designed to beat the third contestant, the leader, by exactly $1, assuming he bet everything. With her correct answer, her total soars to $19,001. A huge jump. For a moment it looks like she might have just secured the win. The pressure now shifts entirely to the final player, and that player is Matt Jackson. A returning champion, Matt has been on an incredible winning streak. He entered Final Jeopardy with a dominant lead of $18,400. He's the one Jennifer was aiming for with her wager. Now, everything hangs in the balance. The audience holds its breath. Matt, the host, says, you also wrote down Mount Suribachi. That makes it 3-4-3. A clean sweep on a tough clue. Everyone knew the answer. So, it all comes down to the wager. This is the moment that decides everything. The money, the win, the continuation of a legacy. The final question is asked. What did you risk? Matt's wager flashes on the screen. $601. Just enough. Just enough to beat Jennifer's strategic all-in bet. His new total becomes $19,001, tying him with Jennifer, a tie in Final Jeopardy. After all that strategy, all that tension, it comes down to a perfect, unbreakable deadlock. The two champions, their scores identical, would have to return the next day to face each other once again. It was a finale that no one saw coming, a testament to the razor-thin margins that separate victory and defeat on this iconic stage. It proves that even when you know all the answers, the game is never truly over until the last dollar is counted. Thanks so much for watching. If you love stories of incredible wins and unbelievable moments, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video. Next up, we have Liam Stunts. Liam heads into Final Jeopardy. The host turns his attention to Liam. Did you come up with Mount Suribachi? The camera cuts to Liam's screen, and his response appears. Iwo Jima. An audible murmur ripples through the audience. There's an immediate recognition in the room. He knew the famous photo. He knew the historic moment. He knew exactly where it happened. But here's the brutal truth about Final Jeopardy. It's not about being close. It's about being exact. Iwo Jima is the island. Mount Suribachi is the mountain on that island where the flag was raised. And in this game, that distinction is everything. The host explains it with crystal clarity. You knew the photo, he says, but you didn't know the name of the mountain. That single, missing detail changes the entire game. Now comes the wager. What did you bet, Liam? The number flashes on the screen. $6,200. Everything. You went all in. It's a gutsy move, the kind of wager that can turn a potential victory into a devastating disaster in a matter of seconds. Because with an incorrect response, that full amount disappears instantly. And just like that, Liam's score plummets. He drops from second place straight into third. You can almost feel that drop yourself. Not physically, of course, but emotionally. It's the crushing realization that his knowledge was almost enough, that he recognized a pivotal moment in history, but not precisely enough to survive the unforgiving final round. But hold on, because the game isn't over yet. There's still one contestant left, and he's been in control all night long. This leader had a commanding lead, a smart wager, and seemed untouchable. But none of that mattered if he made one single mistake. The pressure was now all on him. Could he close it out, or would the night's biggest surprise still be to come? This is what makes the game so thrilling. It's a high-stakes test of knowledge, strategy, and nerve. One contestant, Emma, had already fallen, her hopes dashed by a risky wager on an incorrect answer. Now Liam, who was so close to the top, has been brought down by a single detail. The entire game now pivots to our leader, who has watched two of his competitors stumble. He has all the information. He knows Emma is out. He knows Liam is out. He has the lead, and the path to victory seems clear. But in Final Jeopardy, nothing is guaranteed until that final answer is revealed. The question is, did he get it right? Did he know the answer was Mount Suribachi? The fate of the entire game rests on his shoulders. He could play it safe and secure the win, or he could have made a fatal error just like the others. We're about to find out if his knowledge was as deep as his lead was wide. The final reveal is coming up next. Thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content. Ever watched a game show and felt like you knew exactly how it would end? Well, sometimes the biggest twists aren't in the answers, but in the strategy. Let's talk about a Jeopardy game that perfectly illustrates this, featuring a player named Tom Devlin. From the very beginning of the match, Tom wasn't just playing, he was dominating. He built a lead that wasn't just strong, it felt absolutely untouchable. As the game headed into its final, most crucial moment, Final Jeopardy, the tension in the studio was thick as the host revealed the Final Jeopardy category. Then, the clue appeared. The music began its 30-second countdown, a familiar tune that signals the end of the line for contestants. This is where champions are made or broken. As the music faded, the host started with a contestant in third place, then second. Finally, it was Tom's turn. The camera zoomed in on his screen. The host reveals Tom's response. At first glance, it looks close. Very close. The camera shows that Tom had initially written down Mount Fuji, but then crossed it out. In its place, he wrote Iwo Jima. That simple change tells the whole story. It shows us that he felt the pressure. He second-guessed his initial instinct, and he tried to adjust his answer in that high-stakes moment. He recognized the potential danger of his first thought and made a calculated change. But Final Jeopardy has a reputation for being ruthless. The host reveals the correct response. Mount Suribachi. A collective sigh ripples through the audience. The host looks at Tom and delivers the classic line, "Close, but no cigar." Tom got the answer wrong. In any other situation, this would be a devastating blow, a moment of crushing defeat. But this is where the game takes an unexpected turn. The question is no longer about whether Tom was right or wrong. The real question is, does it even matter? When you have a lead as massive as Tom's, the game shifts. It's no longer just a test of knowledge. It becomes a masterclass in risk management. Accuracy is important, but strategy becomes paramount. Everyone in the studio and at home held their breath, waiting for the final piece of the puzzle. The host posed the most important question of the night. "Tom, what did you wager?" The screen flickered to life, revealing the number Tom had written down. It was a single, powerful digit, 0. He wagered absolutely nothing. He didn't risk a single dollar of his hard-earned lead, and with that one decision, the outcome of the entire game was sealed. A smile spread across the host's face. "Congratulations, Tom Devlin," he announced, as applause erupted throughout the studio. Tom had won, not by knowing the right answer, but by understanding the rules of the game better than anyone else. He demonstrated that true victory isn't always about being the smartest person in the room. It's about knowing when to push forward and, more importantly, when to hold back. You don't always win Jeopardy by knowing more. Sometimes, you win by knowing when not to risk it all. It's a powerful lesson in strategy that applies far beyond the game show stage. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. What makes this Final Jeopardy moment so memorable isn't just the outcome, it's the contrast. 3 players, 3 different minds, all converging on a single, iconic image. A moment frozen in time, not just in history, but on the game board. Let's break it down. We have Aaron Rodgers, the NFL star. He's sharp. He nails the exact name of the mountain, but Dose and T have enough money to make a real run for it. Then there's Liam, astute. He recognizes the famous photograph instantly but fumbles the specific detail. He writes down Iwo Jima, which is correct, but not what the clue is asking for. And finally, there's Tom, the returning champion. He doesn't know the specific name either, but he understands the game. He wagers nothing. He plays the board, not just the question. 3 different approaches, 3 different results, all centered on Joe Rosenthal's Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph, raising the flag on Iwo Jima. This image is more than just a picture. It's one of the most reproduced photographs in history. It symbolizes courage, sacrifice, and the brutal reality of the Pacific War. It's a symbol of a turning point in a global conflict. But on the Jeopardy stage, history isn't just symbolic, it's specific. It's not just about knowing the event. It's about knowing the details. A mountain, a name, a precise location. Mount Suribachi. That's what Final Jeopardy demands. That level of precision is what separates the champions from the contenders. It's what makes the game so relentlessly compelling. Because under those bright studio lights, with a clock ticking down, knowledge isn't abstract. It's tested, it's timed, and the result is permanent. There are no do-overs. Your answer, or lack of one, is locked in. When the host announces that the quarterfinals will continue tomorrow, it feels less like an ending and more like a pause in the action. The game stops, but the moment lingers. You can feel it. For Liam, it's the frustration of being so close, of knowing the image but missing the key. For Aaron, it's the quiet satisfaction of nailing a tough clue, even if it didn't change his standing. And for Tom, it's the calm reward of strategic discipline, of knowing when not to risk it all. This single clue showcases the beautiful complexity of the game. It's a test of knowledge, yes, but it's also a test of nerve, strategy, and mental endurance. It reminds us that knowing a lot is one thing, but knowing the right thing at the right time is everything. You see players bet it all on a daily double, only to come up short. You see others build a commanding lead, only to see it evaporate in the final round. And you see moments like this, where a single piece of historical trivia decides the fate of 3 very smart people. It's a microcosm of what makes the show a cultural institution. It's not just about trivia. It's about the human drama of competition, the highs of a correct answer, the lows of a memory lapse, and the strategic dance of the wager. And for us, the audience, it's a nightly lesson, a reminder of the vastness of human knowledge and the thrill of the intellectual chase. It's a chance to test ourselves from the comfort of our own homes, to shout answers at the screen and feel a part of the action. That's why, after all these years, Final Jeopardy never loses its power. Because every Final Jeopardy clue is more than a question. It's a decision that reveals not just what the players know, but who they are in that moment of ultimate pressure. What are some of your favorite Final Jeopardy moments? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one. For over half a century, one show has defined what it means to be a trivia powerhouse. It's a battleground of wits where contestants don't just answer questions, they question the answers. This is the story of Jeopardy! The game show that turned knowing things into a national pastime. From its humble beginnings with Art Fleming to the iconic era of Alex Trebek, and now with Ken Jennings at the helm, the format has remained a constant beacon for brainiacs everywhere. It's a simple yet brilliant concept. Take the answer and find the question. But behind that simplicity lies a world of strategy, speed, and staggering knowledge. What makes Jeopardy! So addictive? It's not just about the money, it's about the glory. It's the satisfaction of shouting the right question at your TV screen just before the contestant does. It's the daily ritual of testing your own intellect against some of the brightest minds in the country. The categories are a grab bag of human knowledge, from Shakespeare to Shinobi, pop culture to particle physics. One moment you're a history buff, the next you're a science whiz. This variety ensures that every single game is a fresh challenge, a new opportunity to learn something you never knew you needed to know. The show respects intelligence, and in doing so, it encourages us all to be a little more curious about the world. Let's talk about the legends, the titans of the buzzer. Names like Ken Jennings, who embarked on a seemingly endless 74-game winning streak that captivated the nation. His run wasn't just a display of incredible recall, it was a masterclass in strategy, buzzer timing, and managing the immense pressure of daily play. Then came James Holzhauer, the professional sports gambler who broke the game. His all-in approach to daily doubles and Final Jeopardy turned every match into a high-stakes thriller. He didn't just play the game, he optimized it. And we can't forget champions like Brad Rutter, the highest-earning contestant of all time, or Amy Schneider, whose dominant performance inspired millions. These players aren't just contestants. They become part of the Jeopardy! Lore. Their story is woven into the fabric of the show's history. But the real, heart-pounding drama, the moment that defines every episode, is Final Jeopardy! The music alone is enough to raise your pulse. It's 30 seconds of pure intellectual pressure. The category is revealed, and a collective gasp is heard in living rooms across the country. Contestants wager their hard-earned cash on a single clue, It's a strategic dilemma. Do you bet big to secure the win, or play it safe to live to fight another day? We've seen fortunes won and lost on a single word. We've witnessed champions dethroned and underdogs achieve stunning upsets. This final, solitary challenge is what separates the good players from the great ones. It's not just about what you know, it's about what you're willing to risk. At the end of every episode, as the host signs off with that familiar phrase, "Don't want to miss a moment of Jeopardy." It serves as more than just a plug. It's a reminder of what the show represents. It's an invitation to keep our minds sharp, to stay curious, and to engage with the world of knowledge. Because those moments of tension, where a champion's fate hangs on a single well-phrased question, are the very essence of the game. That's why we tune in night after night. That's why Final Jeopardy will always be the crown jewel of television trivia. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about moments in game show history, a moment that sparked endless debate and had everyone at home playing along. We're talking about Tom, a returning champion, a dominant force, facing a Final Jeopardy clue that seemed straightforward but led to a truly shocking outcome. The category was World War II, and the clue was this. The raising of the US flag on this Japanese island on February 23, 1945, was famously captured in a photo. Now, you and I, sitting on our couches, probably shouted Iwo Jima at our screens, right? It's one of the most iconic images of the 20th century. Tom's two competitors, Melis and Yogesh, both wrote down Iwo Jima. They got it right. But Tom, with a commanding lead, wrote something different. He wrote, "What is Mount Suribachi?" And just like that, he lost. The internet exploded. People were baffled. How could a player so smart, so dominant, get such an easy question wrong? Was it a brain freeze? A simple mistake under pressure? Well, let's break it down, because what happened is far more interesting than just a wrong answer. It's a masterclass in game theory of risk management and the psychology of competition. First, let's be clear. Tom wasn't technically wrong. The flag was raised on Mount Suribachi, which is the volcanic mountain on the island of Iwo Jima. Geographically, his answer was precise. But in the context of Jeopardy, precision can sometimes be your enemy. The judges look for the most commonly accepted and direct answer. The island was Iwo Jima. Mount Suribachi was the specific location on that island. The show's judges deemed his answer incomplete, or not the best possible response. It's a tough call, but that's the ruling they made. But here's where it gets fascinating. We need to look at the scores going into Final Jeopardy. Tom was in a commanding position. He had a massive lead. All he needed to do was bet strategically to guarantee a win, assuming he got the question right. And this is the key, his wager. Tom bet an amount that was just enough to win if his closest competitor doubled their score, but small enough that he would still win even if he got the question wrong and they got it right, as long as they didn't bet at all. He was playing the numbers, not just the question. If you replay this moment in your mind, you can almost play along. Would you have written Mount Suribachi aiming for that hyper-specific detail? Would you have just stopped at Iwo Jima, the more obvious answer? Or would you have done what Tom did, protected your lead, bet cautiously, and trusted the math to carry you to victory, regardless of the clue? That's the beauty of it. Everyone watching is a contestant in their own way. Everyone answers in their head, and everyone feels that final reveal. So, was it a simple blunder? I don't think so. I think Tom, being the brilliant player he is, knew the answer was Iwo Jima, but perhaps he overthought it. Maybe he thought Iwo Jima was too simple for a Final Jeopardy clue and tried to show a deeper level of knowledge. It's the classic expert dilemma. Sometimes knowing too much can lead you down the wrong path. He went for the microscopic detail instead of the big picture. He played the game with incredible strategy in his betting, but in a rare moment, his immense knowledge might have tripped him up on the answer itself. It's a reminder that in high-stakes games, it's not just about what you know. It's about understanding the rules of the game and the psychology of the moment. What a lesson, and what a moment of television. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives. See you next time. Did you see that incredible Final Jeopardy from last night? The category was famous photos and the clue was absolutely legendary. His photographer said by the time he raised the camera, the soldiers were so tired from the battle and the civilians were so exhausted from the climbing that they didn't pose for me. Wow, what an image that paints. What photo could it possibly be? Our three contestants: Tom Devlin, a writer from Alameda, California; Allison Streakle, a non-profit development director from Missoula, Montana; and Jenya Zvinsky, a youth services librarian from Algonquin, Illinois. All had to dig deep for this one. Let's break down the possibilities. This clue is packed with details. We're looking for a photo with soldiers, civilians, a battle, and some serious climbing. The photographer's quote is the real kit wasn't a posed shot. It was a moment of pure, raw exhaustion captured on film. My mind immediately jumped to a few iconic war photographs. Could it be raising the flag on Iwo Jima? That's got soldiers, a battle, and climbing. But the quote doesn't quite fit. The soldiers in that photo were actively raising the flag. It was an active effort, not just exhaustion. Plus, there aren't really civilians in that frame. What about Robert Capa as the falling soldier? That's a powerful battle image, but it captures a moment of action, not the weary aftermath. And again, no civilians or climbing involved. The clue points to a specific kind of scene, one where the fight is over and all that's left is the struggle to endure. The photographer captured not the heat of battle but the heavy, quiet cost of it. It's a subtle but crucial distinction. So, what was the correct response? Drum roll, please. The correct answer was, what is Saigon execution? Also known as General Nguyen Ngoc Loan, executing a Viet Cong prisoner in Saigon. Now, let's see how our contestants did. This is where it gets really interesting. First up, Jen. She wagered a conservative $2,000 but unfortunately drew a blank and couldn't come up with a response. That left everything in the hands of our returning champion, Tom Devlin. He went into Final Jeopardy. So as the stage lights dim and the episode ends, one thing is clear. Final Jeopardy isn't just about famous photos. It's about memory under pressure. It's about precision. It's about knowing when to take a risk and when to stand still. And tonight, that balance belonged to Tom Devlin. What a game, and what a masterful performance. What did you think of that final clue? Let me know your guesses in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Jeopardy! Recap. See you next time.